What up, everyone? Back for another video, another monthly review. So right now we have the boxes of February. The boxes of March have shown up. They're actually right here. So we're a little behind, but these boxes usually come a little late anyway, so not too big of a deal. We only have 3 here, and I keep waiting. Hopefully that Loot Crate will finally send out boxes. I keep holding out hope, so I keep waiting to do videos, but I'm just kidding myself at this point. I don't know if they're ever going to come. It's just such a crazy thing that's going on over there, and I still don't get it. I don't understand how every box they've ever made can be delayed at the same time. They have to be getting their items from different locations. It makes no sense that they're all held up. All the items are held up. It just makes absolutely no sense. So I'm curious what the reasoning is and some kind of explanation to say that they're at least not stealing from us, because it seems like that's what they're doing at this point. But anyway, I digress. So I was waiting for those, and they're just not going to come. So we have 3. And next month we'll have 4, and yeah, that's all we got, because that's all that's showing up these days, because so many companies are not sending shit. Pup's here. He's wearing his donut. Huh, Pup? Give a kiss? Nope. No kiss for me. All right, let's start things off with Geek Fuel. So let's start off with the shirt. So here's the shirt right here. I'll be showing a picture. There's the design. So this will get the standard $12 to $15 value. But as far as the score on the shirt, I'm going to give it a 7.5 out of 10. It's a nice shirt. It's nothing. It's kind of one of those vague designs that doesn't infringe on any copyright, so it doesn't have any characters in there. It's just kind of a bunch of vague descriptions and pictures and things like that, so they don't have to pay. Stop it. Pay any money to anyone for any characters, but it's still a good design, though. They did a good job at designing it, and they're kind of hit and miss with some of the designs sometimes. The quality of the shirts they put out is always really good, but some of their designs are a little bit off, so this one's cool. Even though it's not specific to anything, I still think it's a cool t-shirt, so that's why I'll get a 7.5 out of 10. The next item we got was a Super 7 action figure. Now, I'm not a fan of these Super 7 action figures because these are the old reaction figures from Funko. Never really liked them, and honestly, I think they're really overpriced and really overvalued, in my opinion. But this is going to go for about $15 to $20, which is about what it would cost anyway. These figures go for around that price, which is crazy to me. Something this simple and this basic sells in stores for $20, and if it goes up in value even more, that's just crazy to me. But, at least it holds its value, and there are a lot of people collecting it, so you'd have no problem selling it if you wanted to. Next, we got some socks, and these are just real simple. I think the theme was just classic arcade, if I had to guess. I don't know if they said exactly what it was, but it's pretty clear that that's what it is. Like the t-shirt, the socks are supposed to be imitating arcade carpet, like old school carpet. And yeah, I can kind of see that. I remember arcades that had very similar carpet to that. Pretty sure even Family Fun Center had that, which became Boomers. So I get that. The value on that's going to be right around $10. So those are selling for a decent amount and decent quality socks. And then the last item was a sticker. One sticker from NBA Jams, I'm assuming. Or it's supposed to be imitating that. Single sticker, giving the dollar value just to be nice. We did, however, get the luggage tag from last month's box. Not that I really wanted it or cared, but it's nice that they eventually sent it, so that's there. So, as far as the value on this box, on the low end, $38, on the high end, $46. This is right around a $30 box, so it's pretty cheap, but the value's not super high anyway. And this one's been on the slow decline for pretty much years. It was doing so well for so long, and I'm guessing they didn't get a lot of business. And also in the box, they included this letter, which essentially says that they're stopping this box, but not stopping the subscription. They're switching over to a t-shirt subscription, and they said they're going to... It's already here, so I know what's in it. It's that bag over there. So it's not a subscription box anymore. It's a fucking subscription bag. And essentially, it's going to be a t-shirt and one other thing, which honestly is pretty much what this was anyway. This was a t-shirt and one item and then some stickers. So essentially, it's going to be right around that, but the main item that comes with the t-shirt is going to be pretty simplistic, I'm guessing. So I'm very disappointed to see that and very disappointed to hear this, but I kind of saw it coming. Back like a year and a half ago, this was the best box. I loved it, and it just slow decline, and then here we are at rock bottom. And now, since they're doing this, that's just not a good sign. It's just one step closer to bankruptcy. I feel like this is just something they're doing to get rid of their stock, if I had to guess. If this company's going bankrupt, they still have all these items that they've ordered months in advance because they have to plan that far ahead. So I think they're just thinking like, well, let's get the money we can for the things we already have made and then see what happens. So odds are this isn't going to last very long because I can't see a lot of people sticking around because they still are charging almost the same price. This was roughly 30. This one, the new one's going to be 19 plus shipping, which ends up being like 25 or something like that. So it's really not much cheaper, and you're getting significantly less effort into it. Now, don't get me wrong, they do make great shirts, so I'm at least going to hang on to them for a bit, because, you know, I love this company so much, or I used to, so I'm not just going to toss it away and just not give them a chance. So it'll still be around for a little while, and honestly, because there just aren't any more boxes, so I'm not going to give up hope. Not a big fan of paying that price for just a shirt, but at least they give good quality shirts. So that's what the future holds for this box. The March's bag has come already, so we'll hear about that soon. But that's where this company's at, and that's what's happening. So this is the last time you'll ever see this box. So that being said, a score on this box, I'm giving it a 5 out of 10. It wasn't necessarily bad. The items in there were good quality, and collectible, decent resale value. Just wasn't a lot of stuff in there, and the value's not super high. So it's like just barely worth it. I'm still happy I got it and I like the stuff, but I'm not over the moon for it, and I'm not super disappointed either. So right there in the middle, 5 out of 10. So sad to see Geek Fuel go. They really were an incredible company, and I will miss them. What? What do you want? So that's a bummer about that. But we'll still see more of their t-shirts in the future. All right, next box. Bam Geek, the Bam Classic. So we got our usual autograph. Oh shit. Dropping stuff everywhere. So this is of Kristana Loken. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. Hopefully, but I don't know. And she was the Terminator in the third Terminator movie. And she's also done a few other things. She was in Blood Rain and In the Name of the King. So I don't know a super ton about either of those series. I've never really heard of them before. But, you know, it's someone I at least recognize from one role, which is good. Not super famous, but, you know, enough to get by. So there it is. And that's going for around $25 to $30. But honestly, it's not selling for that much, really. So there are a lot of autographs of her out there. If you look on eBay, there's tons for like 12 and 15 bucks, but none of them are certified. So that's the major thing you need to look out for. And that's what honestly why I try to avoid buying signatures online altogether. But you really got to be careful and get one that's certified by Beckett or by someone that's credible, because there's just so many fakes out there. So the cheapest ones I saw that were from Beckett, it was in the $25, $30 range. No one's really buying at that price, but if you want it, that's technically what you'd have to pay. And next we got an art print by Pharaoh Lauren, and this is just of the most recent Batman, which is fine. There's two variants of it. It's good. It's well done. It's hard to see, though. Like, you're looking on the camera, you can barely tell what it is. There's Batman right here, and it's just kind of a lot of darkness over there. So they probably could have played with the contrast a little bit in the brightness. Like, I get what they're going for. It's supposed to be dark, but at the same time, it's like, I literally can't see what it is. Like, I really got to get close to even tell what it is. So maybe just to brighten it just a tad. But anyway, this is going to go for like 10 to 12 bucks. I'm generous in those values, though, because same thing. No one's really paying that for it, but I think that's a fair value. Next, we got our pendant. Is that what it is? Anyway, necklace from The Witcher. Haven't checked out the series myself, but as far as the quality on this, it's very nice. The chain is obviously very cheap, so if you're going to wear it, not that you would, but if you're going to, don't use this chain. This will turn your neck green. So the chain's very cheap, and I'm assuming the metal on this is too, but at least it's metal. At least it's not like a plastic little piece or something like that. So it looks good, and it looks legit. So I haven't, like I said, I haven't seen the show, but as far as the quality of it, it's very nice in quality. And that's actually going for $15 to $20 online, so it's going to get a $15 to $20 range. So this is actually pretty good. One of their better prop replicas. Next, we got our set of pins. So I guess this is the new standard. They just changed up the pin style, so they like kind of listened to my advice, but kind of just went their own way with it, which is fine. Very happy, no complaints here. So we just get 2 pins now, and that's just kind of what it is. And sometimes there's like a glitter variant. I don't know if that's with every box or if it is and they just don't say that, but a lot of them have like glitter variants, which is like supposed to be the rare one, which I'm okay with. I like that you get both pins and you don't have to go super far out of your way to collect the whole series. But the value on this, surprisingly, $15 for the pair. So again, surprisingly, when they switched over to the 2-pin system, the value and the price on them came down pretty significantly. For years, when BAM would include a pin, each one would go for like roughly 12 to 15, depending on what it was. And so usually if they gave 2, that price would be around 20 to 25. But for some reason, since they've been doing dual pins, the pair has usually been going for like 15. So it's kind of weird. So I'm not sure if it's specific to this set. I can't imagine so. Like Ant-Man's a pretty popular character, but so we'll just have to keep an eye on and see if they are. But that's just very odd to me. They didn't go down in quality. They're still very nice pins. Maybe people are just losing interest. I'm not totally sure what the reasoning is behind that. So anyway, this brings our value on the low end, 65, on the high end, 77. So I'm going to give this one a 6 out of 10. It had good stuff. I recognize the actress of the signature. She's not super famous, which, okay, fine. Like, you can't always expect it to be, no big deal. The art print is there. Like, who fucking cares? I'm never going to care about the art print. I just can't imagine that ever happening. The pins were very nice. I like the pins. I'll keep them. And the pendant was very well done. So the only reason it doesn't get higher is because the value is pretty low. This ends up being like close to a $50 box. It's a little bit less. It's like $45, I think, depending on shipping. So you get probably like close to 50% more, which is good. It's not bad. It's not horrible. And the stuff was decent, but, you know, they could have done better on the value and could have done some better in other areas. So a 6 out of 10, I think, is a reasonable score. All right. And our last box is the BAM cartoon box. And this is also the last time we'll ever see this box. So a very sad month because last of a few of these things. Very unfortunate. So these boxes have been dying off over the years, but it's been happening a lot more lately. Now, this one isn't technically dying off. BAM just decided to discontinue it. I'm not really sure why, though. They just started it. This is only like the 3rd or 4th one since they started. And I love this one. This was my favorite one and has been for quite a while. But for some reason, they decided to get rid of this one and the kids one and just reabsorb it back into the main one, which, like, fine, but, like, I really like this cartoon one. If I had to guess, it's probably because they can't constantly find cells, because the ones they do have are really obscure cartoons, so there's probably a limited supply out there. It's hard to get, like, thousands of these at a time, which I totally understand, but you don't have to put one of these in each box. Like, mix it up. I've been saying this for months. So anyway, let's get to what's in here. So we got our signature for our celebrity, Melanie Cohn, something like that. So she was known for being the voice of Lucy, I believe, in the 70s. And fun fact, her sister was the voice of Lucy before that. So the early 70s was this chick's sister, and then she took over to the mid to late 70s. So it's cool because it's recognizable, but not that special because I did some research, and there's like 15 to 20 people that have played the voice of Lucy. Her voice is not super like recognizable or iconic, so they switched out actresses pretty often, but she did it for a decent amount of time, and it listed the movies she did it for. So I think in the 70s was when it was maybe not the most popular, but still very popular. So it's still cool to get a recognizable character. I don't like the print they put it on. I wish I got some of the other ones, but, you know, no big deal. So this is going for like 25 to 30, but again, no one's paying that. That's just the cheapest I could find out there. So if you wanted it, you would have to pay that, but I can't imagine anyone going out of their way for this very specific person. So even though I'm going to give it a $25 to $30 value, it's still going to be lower on the score because I don't know if it's really worth that. That's just the value it has if you wanted to buy it. Next, we got Stephen Wayne, I believe is his name, and an art print. And this one's well done. This is a very nice art print. It's one of the nicer ones I've seen from Bandbox, so that's cool. But, you know, it's still an art print. But this is going to get a $10 to $15 value. Usually 10 to 12, but this one's getting a little bit higher. But I think that's because it's just a pretty badass picture. This person did a very good job. And that's more than I can say for most of these artists. No offense to them, but most of them, like, it's pretty wonky looking. So this person did a good job. So good job on that. Then we got our pins. Now, I wasn't quite sure what to value them at. We got Pinky and the Brain, and they're on stamps for some reason. So I was going to give it a $20 to $25 value, but I'm not 100% confident in that. I couldn't find any listings for this, so I wasn't quite sure what it would be, but I was just going off the pairs. What they were before was 20 to 25, but now maybe it's more of that $15 range. But anyway, I'm going to give it 20 to 25 just to be fair on that. So that's what it's going to be. And then last we got a Cell from, what was it from? Agents of Smash, which was a Hulk cartoon. And I got Hulk's ass. I just got him straight up bending over for the camera. So, like, okay, like, I don't mind that. I think it's kind of funny. I'm going to frame that up and just have Hulk's cornhole in my hallway or something like that. So, fine, I'll keep it. The value on these is like 20 to 30 because it really depends on what you get. There's so many variations. And like you saw in the first video I did, I got a really shitty one. And I didn't even know this was a cartoon, honestly, and I'm a Marvel fan, so I'm sure they only did 1 or 2 episodes. But from what I saw, they had a lot of cool characters, Spider-Man, Venom, stuff like that. So the cells, this isn't technically a cell, this Genja, or what do you want to call it, they had a lot of cool characters and a lot of cool ones, but they went for somewhere between $20 and $30. But I like this. Hulk's beehole. I'll keep it. Alright, so that brings our value on the low end of 75 and on the high end of 100. Now, keep in mind, you could those pins could be worth a little bit less, but still pretty close to double your value, even considering that fact. So I think they did a good job. I'm going to give this one a 7.5 out of 10. I did enjoy the autograph. Not super recognizable, but enough to where I'll keep it. The print, don't care. At least it was nice looking. Pins, I really like the pins. They do a genuinely good job, and I love Pinky and the Brain. And then the art, the animation art, I really like that too. So I'm always happy to get these. I love these, which is why I'm bummed this box is leaving, because I love stuff like this. It's original art. It's one of a kind. That's so cool to me. I'm always going to appreciate that. I'm going to miss this box horribly. I can't believe it. They finally do a box I'm totally in love with, and they're like, man, we're good. So, Pup's coughing on something. So I'm very upset about that. I wish they would reconsider and keep this box around because it genuinely excited me and I loved it. And I'm very sad. So what's left? We'll have the classic BAM box because this one's gone. Geek Fuel will still technically be around. It'll just be a bag instead of a box. Loot Crate, who the fuck knows? Like, seriously, like I demand answers at this point. They're holding on to like $1,000 of mine, and it's been like over 6 months. How is it possible that everything is stuck? I just don't understand how that could be possible. I get that sometimes you order things from out of the country and they're dealing with COVID stuff, but how could every one of your items in every box all be stopped? I don't get it. I'm sure there's some really weird reasoning to it that is really out of the box, but I just would like to know. So they're technically still around, but just not showing up. We still have Pusheen, which is quarterly, and we still have Marvel Collector Core, and that's it. I'm going to start looking into... Oh, Zobi. Zobi is bi-monthly. That's there, too. I want to start looking into some other subscriptions, but I just don't think there are many of them anymore. I think with the combination of subscription boxes dying out, mixed with all the pressures and struggles with COVID, getting things shipped from out of the country, it's just a lethal combination, and they're dropping like flies, which is such a bummer. It's one thing if companies don't do well and don't make a good product and just legitimately don't succeed in business. It's another thing when it's like not technically their fault. And that's so sad to see because we all suffer from that. That's just not really fair. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this very short video. Super busy over here, but I'm going to try and get to the March boxes fairly soon. There's 4 of them, so that'll be a pretty easy video whenever this one gets posted, whenever I get to it. So let me know what you think. If anyone has any ideas for other subscription boxes or anything you want to talk about, let me know in the comments, and we'll figure it out from there. Other than that, thank you all for watching and supporting. Love you all. Peace.